Mic check. I go by the name of Caution, Mr. 700. We are reporting live from Thug's Mansion, aka AllOva Radio Studios, Dallas, Texas. And I got a very special guest in here with me this evening. Some of you may know, some of you may not, but that's also the purpose of what we do. If you're not familiar with this, we represent hip hop in the fullest. We got the man Coach Tev in the building. What's the fucking business, man?
Man, what's happening, man? Young Cody, young Greg Popovich right here.
Let him know.
You know what I'm saying? Urban, Texas representative.
Yes, sir. Is that where you from?
That's where I'm from,
I was just about to ask you that, man. I heard the Las Colinas bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, bro got to either be from there or moved out there.
I just moved from me and my wife who was living out in Las Colinas.
Okay.
But I'm from Urban.
Gotcha.
You know,
Man, I lived in Las Colinas for about 7 to 8 years, bro.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite places I've ever stayed. Just
Love
chill, never bothered by nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Well, man, how's everything going, my brother?
Man, life's good, man. Blessed.
Definitely. We are here to talk about the new project exclusively and to get to know you as well, but the project specifically because, you know, that's what bring the artist out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so let the people know what the name of the project is and when it came out and where they can find it. You know what I'm saying?
So it's out everywhere. It's called As the Rain Clears.
Yes, sir.
Came out March 13th, my birthday.
Nice.
So, instead of getting the gift, I had to give the gift. You know what I'm saying, on my birthday.
I like it.
But yeah, man, As the Rain Clears, it's I know a lot of people say it, when they put out a project, like, yo, this is one of my favorites this far. But truly, this is
what makes it that.
I feel like I was able to tap into, like, I got a little bit more introspective than I've been in the past. Like, if you're familiar with my music, I'm kind of always I'm like on some chill, like I am personally, like I'm chill, nonchalant. But sometimes I may fall into that a little too much, like on some, just cool raps, getting some raps off.
Right.
But like, I made it a point on this one to, like, give a little bit more of myself into it.
Gotcha.
And I feel like I exceeded, with that, especially with the intro. The intro is probably one of my favorite joints. It's called When It Rains, It Pours. And probably one of my favorite joints I've ever done. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I was able to articulate my thoughts. And, I look at music sometimes as like a time capsule.
Definitely.
Right? Like,
definitely.
It kind of like, if done well, especially from a writer standpoint, like it should like set like where you are mentally,
exactly,
spiritually, whatever at that time. So like in 10 years later, you listen, you be like, I know exactly what I was feeling.
Exactly.
Like that.
And it does that, it paints the picture for others who may not have been there as well.
Yeah.
I think what you do though, which is dope from what I see, from the freestyles, the videos that you put up, you have a specific type of way that you present your material. And I'd like to say it's kind of like, it reminds me of like my era of music. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm older than you. I gotta be. Shit.
I don't know.
But just kind of seeing how you put it together, bro, I see a lot of like the elements that I remember, that kind of drew me to it. You know what I'm saying? So talk about that, because is where you are now just a product of growth? It is something that you saw as you continue to work? Like, how'd you arrive at the point that you are now?
I mean, I came up off the, to date myself, I came up off the blog era. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
that type of, that type of, the currencies, the DOMs, the lifestyle raps.
Facts.
And just like the artistic integrity, and the Kanye's, the early Tylers,
Oh yeah,
not
facts.
too early. I went into the super weird shit he was on, but when he really started getting into like a little bit more artistic. And like I also come from like a film background.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I went to the UNT in Denton, and I studied film.
Nice.
Yeah, salute to black man education, all that
Facts.
shit. Right?
So you shoot all your own shit?
For the most part, I'm trying to get to a point where like I can delegate a little bit more. So like
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. You know what I mean? Especially when you want to do, you got bigger visions.
Facts.
It's just too much to be the artist and then be the director and then be the DP and then be the audio. It's just,
It's the old Drake saying, I can't live and hold the camera. Someone's got to tape this.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? I feel you, bro. Yeah. And it's like that. But I think, and this is probably going into that, if you're kind of like me, then you're a perfectionist to where you want every aspect to be tailored to how you want it.
For sure.
When it comes to delegating, do you have a team of people that you work with that you kind of like, okay, this is my video guy, I work with him editing. Like, how do you have all that organized?
As far as editing, I usually take care of that myself. But when it comes to like, getting homies to like help shoot, sometimes I got homies that do it professionally.
Nice.
So like I'll have them come on, I'll throw them some little break because this is what they do, right? But then sometimes I'll just have the homie, like, I mean, right here, JOA sitting next to us. He's a producer by trade.
Facts.
But you know, he's been working with me long enough where like he knows like, hey, bro, like can you like look behind the camera, like make sure this is right? You know what I'm saying? So like, I wouldn't say I have like a set team where it's like this person does this person does this, but I got a lot of like really close homies that are like down to
gotcha,
you know what I mean, like do whatever it needs to,
that is,
and I'm reciprocating, you know, in the same way for me to help them out.
Dope. That's dope that you said you handle all the editing, which is probably the toughest part of it all when you think about it, putting it all together at the end.
That's where the real perfectionist parts come in. It's hard for me to like give that to somebody else. You know what I mean?
So do you do work for other artists? Like, do you ever do videos and things like that?
I used to do it a lot. Probably around when I started shooting my own stuff, probably around 2018, I think. And then, you know, as I was putting it out, and the people were like, "Oh, this shit's dope. Like, can you shoot mine?" So, like, all through 2019, through COVID year, a little bit 2021, I would like do it for other people, but I kind of started getting a little burnt out.
It'll do that.
Yeah, and then also, you know, to be honest, I didn't want to give too much of my sauce, because like I started having a style, and people would know me for like how the certain ways I would shoot, and then when I shoot other people's stuff, it would have, they'd be like, "Oh, this was Tab must have shot that, nicely done." You know, it must have been, this my video company.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because it kind of like I had a style, but then I didn't want, you know, too many people to also have my visual aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? So. Mixture of that and just kind of being burnt out. But
gotcha. How long you been at the music thing? Like, when did you start that?
I've probably been, it might have been like 15 years now. We'll be in 2025. I think I started around 2010.
Nice.
Honestly, I kind of started before that, if we want to go back to just messing around as kids, like, you know what I'm saying, freestyling over like Tipsy and shit like that, you know what I mean, just for fun,
getting it off. Yeah.
But nice. But it probably around 2010 is when I had a homie who was singing and shit at the time, and then we always used to kick it, and I was like, oh, if he can do that, you know, like I can lay some shit down, right? And then probably around 2015 is when I really started taking it seriously. And by taking it seriously, like I finally became Coach Tab. Like I changed my name to Coach Tab. I had like 6 other names before.
Always. There's always a bunch of bullshit you had first.
Coach Tab was the one that was like, oh, this fits me perfectly, right?
What's the motivation for the Coach Tab? I always wanted to ask that.
Yeah, so it's a lot of different things. Like, so my pops is a coach, you know, I come from like the whole youth organization. He was running shit around urban. So like I just come from that whole environment of like being around sports and being around like just helping the youth and helping, like, you know, being a leader when it comes to organizing something together, right?
Gotcha.
But what really did it, I was working at this after school program, and they called you, instead of calling you Mr. whatever, they called you Coach.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
And they'd be like, Coach Tev. And then one day I was like, and I used to always dress, I still sometimes do it, in like, you know, mad athleisure wear, windbreakers and shit like that. Niggas just be like, bro, you look like a AAU coach. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. And the correlation
I was like,
is there.
Oh, that's perfect. And it's easy to say, easy to remember. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it stuck.
And I see that a lot of your music and some of the videos, I see the incorporation of it, whether it be rocking a jersey or you know, the bars that maybe correlate to that. So I think it all goes in together. How would you define your sound? Like, what defines your sound in general? Like, if a person's listening to what you're doing, how would they sonically know to identify it as Coach Tev? Man,
that's one of the hardest questions to me, because to me, I'm just kind of doing what feels natural, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, I would like to feel like, you know, there's an essence of my personality, which is, you know, the nonchalant, but also like very like witty at times, you know, like there's bars in there, or there's things in there that, you know, it's gonna make you go back and think a little bit. Because that's the type of music that like really I gravitated towards, you know, a mixture of both the cool with the wit, the smarts in a way, you know. Yeah, just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So, and just finding that perfect balance of the two.
Gotcha.
And some shit you can ride around to, you know what I mean?
Which is important. I think people miss out on that aspect. And I think that's where the lyrical miracle guys and people who do a lot of that shit, I think they miss that part. Right. The riding around aspect. Because you can incorporate it all. I'm a fan of Lupe Fiasco. You know, I'm a fan of Dom Kennedy. I'm a fan of Currency, but I'm also a fan of fucking Jay Electronica. You know what I'm saying? So to have that balance makes a big difference. How would you say that what you do fits into the culture of the music scene that we in now? Because a lot of people that I bring in, it's like, I'm from Dallas, and I know that Irvin is kind of in that same, it's all in the same bubble, but how do you feel like what you bring to this scene, and like how do you feel like it's been accepted, and like what are some of the ways you feel like
specifically like in Dallas or whatever? I think I'm just, because I'm not from like Dallas, you know, I'm from Irving, which people like to say like there's a whole separate, which in a way it kind of is, but once you start like getting into the music scene, that could all kind of mesh.
Facts, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, man, I probably around 2015, 2014 is when I really started like coming out to like Dallas events and stuff and like immersing myself. So I like to think I'm just kind of like I'm just a cog in that machine of the Dallas underground, or like whatever we're trying to build out here. And, you know, and it has a lot to do with like relationships and
facts.
And you know, supporting each other. And
you feel like there's a lot of that goes on?
What's that? Support? For sure.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of it that doesn't go along, you know, that there's a lot of that, of the opposite of that as well. You know what I'm saying? But there's definitely like, I don't spend my time like worrying about that. You know what I'm saying? Because
you can't.
There's so much support out here that you got to focus on that. And it's kind of like the negative comments, positive comments thing, right? Like there may be somebody in your comments that like, yo, this shit trash, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you can like harp on that. Or you could like, but there might be like 10 other people that be like, yo, this shit is tight. Like, keep going,
Facts.
But you know, naturally as humans, we don't like to like look at the good. We'll see the bad, and that's what's gonna stick with us for the rest of the day.
And we go right to it. I think it's that, and I think as artists, the biggest thing that I noticed being on both sides of this shit is just like, we yearn for like the gratification of like, your shit is dope.
Right.
And we feel like any adverse opinions that don't rock with our narrative is like hate.
Right.
And I think if we honed in on like the opinions of those who don't necessarily take kindly to us, you would kind of see parts of yourself that you could change to maybe draw those others in.
For sure.
Because, you know, I hear rappers talk and I hate rapper talk. You know,
what's rapper talk?
Rapper talk is everybody has haters.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Every woman's a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when niggas give me the
my teacher said I wasn't gonna be shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we get that all the time, bro. And it's like, nobody told you that. Like, first of all, I wish niggas would stop telling me that. Your teacher never told you that. That teacher would lose their job, bro. Like, let's be completely honest. If a teacher's out here telling kids you ain't gonna be shit, hopefully they whispered in your ear or something, because that seems like you lose your job for it. But I hate the, you know, everybody's against me ideology. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody really is, unless you just that person that feeds into that, right? What do you think the narrative of Coach Tev will be in 5 years if you continue on the path with the trajectory that you have now? You know what I'm saying?
I would like to think it was somebody that's like very inspirational. You know what I mean? That like I saw what he did, and it inspired me to like go out and like get my own camera, shoot my own shit, like not make an excuse, like
no excuses.
Figure out a way like to get it done, but also like give back and help the homies out in whatever way you can, and you know, I just hope to be an inspiration, man. You know, but at the end of that, I also hope like, you know, people, the music lives on too. Like they can still like get gems from things I'm saying in 10 years. You know, I got kids now, so like I want them to grow up and be like, yo, daddy was kind of tight.
Some they can be proud of. Same shit. As far as like what you're doing now specifically, what are some of the things you feel you can do to help you achieve the goals that you're working toward?
I think I gotta get out of my own way a little bit. Like how we were talking about delegating, like I gotta get better at, you know, sometimes step back and be the artist and let people like help. You know, like I can't try to be my own booking manager and try to be all the, you know, like I ask for help.
Consumes
and
bro.
people will they'll hit you up and they'll like, bro, can I help you with this or whatever? And sometimes you're like, nah, like I don't really know people like that. Or you just, like you said, you kind of a perfectionist. You got like a specific vision where you want to
putting your spoon in my mix.
You know what I mean?
I feel you there, bro.
I can for sure get better at you know, and having a vision that I can explain to people so they know how they can help. You know?
Gotcha.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not the best. Like I just go on my own, drive
with that expectation that they understand.
Right. Yeah, and like, you know, people aren't telepathic or whatever that word is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's also just that I think going back to even what we talked about with having a team, that's one thing I learned about not necessarily even needing one, because my expectations of those around me I kept having with my own. So I'm comparing your work ethic to mine, and I'm disappointed when it doesn't meet that expectation, and that's not a fair thing sometimes.
Yeah, but is that a problem?
I don't think it's a problem, bro, but you know what it is that your drive for what you want, nobody's gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in what I do so much that I feel like I can do it myself. Like I used to feel like coming in somewhere like this, I need like 4 or 5 niggas to help me set up the cameras and the sound.
Okay, yeah.
I just come in here and do it now. You know what I'm saying? But it's that level of preparation I think sometimes people don't be prepared for. But yeah, I feel what you're saying there, because I've been disappointed in the past, bro. But maybe what you're saying is right too, because if we aren't equally yoked as far as that goes, how can we be successful?
Right. It is a mixture of the both.
Yeah.
Because you do want to make sure like you have people that are. I get what you're saying though, because if it is your vision at the end of the day, like you can't expect sometimes people to go as hard as you, but if there is something that we have like a common goal somewhere in it,
right.
then yeah, I do expect like, you know.
The hope is that the belief system is somewhat similar. Yeah, and then I think a lot of the things that we need as artists, or that we need to like cultivate a certain kind of environment. If you got a producer that's dope and that's your homeboy, right? So this my nigga, he make beats, he's dope as shit. This my guy, he shoots videos, he's dope as shit. Sometimes those things don't all necessarily fall in line that way. And so like my mistake in the past is like, all right, bro, you around, grab the camera. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Don't grab the camera, bro. Like figure out what you good at, and then let's focus on that. And so that's a big part of a team, bro. Like for anybody watching, like make sure the people that's on the team are playing the roles that are specifically there for them. You know what I'm saying?
But kind of what you're saying just made me think about like something else that I'm trying to get better at, which is in this content-driven world, like not being so much of a perfectionist where I'm only just putting out like one video. Like you gotta like shoot multiple snippet or contents for the same, like you gotta figure out a way. Like you gotta almost flood the market in a way, which I don't really come from that era. Like I come from like, you know, we gonna put this out and we gonna like do the best that we can with this.
Let it marinate.
We're not gonna do all these like quick microwave type of shits, but like you also don't want to be dinosaur. You know what I'm saying?
So in this era, how do you choose to prioritize what you feel like you need to do? How do you prioritize your steps in this era as opposed to what we used to seeing and the effectiveness of it?
Try to mix them both. Like
it's possible.
Find out a way. Possible. Like after we get done with this, we're gonna go outside and shoot some. You know, we're gonna find somewhere around here.
Got some real niggas for that. Facts.
Yeah, because we got a song together that's on my album. Blake Chris over there. Shout out Blake Chris.
Man, shout out to everybody in the building, man. Shout them out. Let people know who
we got. Blake Chris over there. You know what I'm saying? The one and only.
Nice.
Rapper / producer extraordinaire. And we got Chair Waste, young Silky Caesar.
Yeah. Let them know.
You know. So yeah, these are my guys, man. So but yeah. Find a way to mix you both. Like I want to be able to like have a bulk of content, but I do want the quality to be nice too.
Gotta be. Yeah, you'll lose people if it's not.
Right.
And we in an era now, what I will give this era as opposed to the older is that a lot of times the content that we put out now, motherfuckers shoot a video on their phone that looks decent. You can spin that bitch and get what you need out of it.
Yeah.
I think they're less consumed with what we used to be consumed with was the perfectionist level of it. So I needed a dope ass videographer for everything I did. And so it would take me, you know, as a starving artist, it's gonna take me a few months to get the bread right, to get somebody to shoot a video for $500 to $1,000. That's gonna look like something. I'm gonna go to Jeff Adair or whoever out here I went to. Shout out to my guy Jeff, man. I fuck with Jeff. Or anybody like that where it's gonna cost you, but it's gonna look how it needs to look, right?
Right.
Nowadays it's like, bro, you got a camera, help me get this shit in, set that bitch up on a tripod, get the angle I need, and you can drop that bitch and get it where you need to. But like you say, the quality is still important, bro. It's still important.
I be trying to fight with that because like you'll see some shit that be on somebody's iPhone and it go crazy on TikTok.
That's
right?
a fact. That's a fact.
But I think for me personally, like I got my own vision of how I want I do want quality to be at the top or somewhere at the top. So like find that mixture because I do want to separate myself a little bit. Like I don't want to just be
you have to.
Oh, your shit went crazy on the iPhone. Like I want to still put my artistic integrity as Coach Tell in the mix of it. You know what I'm saying? So finding that way to, you know, find the best of both worlds.
How would you describe your art to somebody who's never heard it before?
Ooh, how would I describe my art? I describe it. I do better as like comparing it to like.
Okay.
Visually, I like to look at Wes Anderson. You know who Wes Anderson?
Yes, sir.
He's one of my favorite directors when it comes to like aesthetically, like finding a way to like find that angle and find the what's pleasing anywhere. Like you can find beauty anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So find that, whether it's in how you are filming something or or like things you're saying. Like you can talk about anything if you could say it the right way.
Right. That's true.
What I'm saying?
That's true.
So I kind of want to I feel like my art is like cool beauty. I don't know. I just made that up.
I like
what I'm saying?
Though.
Like a way to,
like
the coolness of like life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, and even before meeting you, bro, I think I think I hopped on Twitter one day and I saw Rakim on Twitter, and shout out to Rakim Al-Jabbar, my brother Rakim. He was on there talking reckless as he normally is, and
for sure.
I seen a video of yours, Ro, but I can't remember what the video was. I don't know if it was a diss song. I'm not
probably.
really.
It probably.
I believe it
last
was
year, last summer.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But the context of it, I don't know what be going on, bro. I don't got a clue. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I can see some shit and it could be a diss song, but I'm not even looking into it that way because I don't know.
Right.
Now I'm just looking at it as art. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was kind of a dark video as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. Which one you talking about?
But it gave me a feeling about you because even like I said, shout out to my guy Chris Billick. He told me about you a long time ago. I used to record with OZ all the time, and one day your name came up and he was like, "Bro, he reminds me of you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was kind of like, not like who you are as a person. He was like, but like he comes in and he raps, but he doesn't just rap. Like he has a style that's different. He's lyrical, but it's his style. And he was like, you one of the people that I would compare him to because y'all have like styles that don't compare to other people type shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's dope. That was the first time I heard it. And then I seen the video and I was like, oh yeah, like this nigga's one of those. He's one of. But then I also saw a show that y'all were putting on. I believe it's at the House of Blues.
Yeah, it was me and Debbie Stones.
You and Debbie Stones. I saw the promotion for that. So I always see shit, bro. I don't miss nothing.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm not like directly tied to it, I don't miss it. Talk about which part of it do you enjoy most? Performing or creating?
Man, that's tough. I think creating. Yeah, I think creating because it's so therapeutic, and you can just do that by yourself.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like whenever.
I like that thought process because when I ask a lot of times, and now I'm starting to see that it depends on the artist and the type of artist. And I feel like a lot of artists that are just solely rappers, they prefer the performance, right? Because that's where you can really get out there and show who you are to people.
Right.
You can be whoever in the studio sometimes for those who aren't authentic or those who don't, or maybe you have something you don't want people to see. But I think more of those that are in the creative spaces outside of just making music, the creation part is like I love being in the studio.
Yeah.
Like I love taking a fucking loop of a beat or whatever, whatever it is.
It's just something about that zone.
And it turned into something.
You seen the movie
bro.
Soul before?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Remember that scene where bro got in the zone, the artistic zone, and everything went. Bro, that's so that's so real.
And so you one of the few people that said the creation portion, and I think that's interesting because of who you are as an artist, and what goes into that. So when it comes time to present your art to people, do you have a certain expectation, or are you just like, I'm with however this is received?
I mean, I feel like I'm a creative in all aspects. So then when it comes to like, all right, now we got to put together like a performance, a show, then I like treat it like that. Like even the show with Debbie. So how we started the show, I had an album around that time called Talk to Him Nicely. It was very like speak easy type of vibes, you know what I'm saying? So when we opened the show, I walked a shorty on stage, like we were out for like a little dinner, and then I had the homie come and pour some wine, and then that's how I started the show. You know what I'm saying? And even the show me and Debbie did like the summer before, we did it at Ruins, and the whole theme of it was like a heist or something, and we were in like jumpsuits and shit, you know what I'm saying? So like I always try to find a way to like put the creative aspect, try to mix like theater a little bit with the performance, because I don't play instruments, at least right now.
Right.
So like I gotta find another way to like entertain people other than just walking around with a mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be too naive or too like full of myself thinking like, yo, I'm just the dopest ever to just walk around with a mic back and forth upstage. You know what I'm saying? Like I also want to like add some elements, like so you can go and tell somebody like you can always go and be like, yo, bro is dope, like you gotta go listen to him. But it's different when like they kind of added a whole nother element. Facts. They did this and that when they started off.
Made it memorable.
Just make it an experience. So
yeah, see, with the history that I have, I've done so many shows where you open for people and then you become a number, right? You're one of a few of these people that do this, and you start to see how people carry on with their shows, and the ones that stick out are the ones that really build a show set. Like I'm gonna build a set around my music, so that way, even if it's somebody who's not really into the music, keeping in mind that this is your first time hearing me, right? Yep. I may not get you this first time, but if my performance is dope and the visual is good, maybe I have something tangible to give you, some merch, things like that. But it all is a culmination of the message I'm trying to get across. You know what I'm saying? So that shit is vital, man. I think you really after something with what y'all got going, man. And like I said, you got people with you that, help you push the vision across. If you could let people know what you have coming up, like as far as like any performances, music, like you said, you got the album. I know his videos coming. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, like I said, we about to go shoot one right now.
Right.
As the Rain Clears, new album out everywhere. I got a show coming up on 420 actually.
Okay.
It's me and Desi.
Okay.
Desi 5 and Astro Girl. I'm trying to think where's the venue at.
It's three links. I seen it.
3 links.
I tell you, I don't miss nothing, my brother.
3 links, 420. So that's my next show. But until then, I'll be promoting the hell out of this album.
Facts.
A lot of videos. Just a lot of different content. Might even put out some more trailer type of things. Just to find different ways and different cool ways to express it and to get in front of people.
Gotcha.
Because I got a whole nother album coming. I don't like double. Yeah. This is the introspective. This is what I like to call this is headphone music. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why the trailer, like it showed bro putting the CD in his
Walkman
CD player.
CD player,
and then getting on the bus. Like this is what this album was for. I actually created this one. The other album that's coming out in this summer possibly. I actually made that one, most of it first. Okay. But then I finished it around like September, and I was like, yo, this is too like high energy to come out in the winter, spring.
Interesting.
So I was like, I had this other bulk of songs, and I was like, let me just finish this other one so I can put this one out more in like the winter or like spring rainy season or something like that.
You record at home? Like you got your own studio?
Yeah, homes. Yeah. And I just take it to OZ.
Y'all niggas, man. Yeah. Y'all niggas that record at home. Shout out to y'all.
Okay, you don't do that?
I don't have the patience, bro.
What you mean?
I don't have the patience. Like I've gotten to a point, and maybe I'm spoiled. Like I moved to Texas from Compton in 2005, right? I had never been in a professional studio till I moved here. So once I got there, I never left. You know what I'm saying? It just became like, I could come here, I can knock shit out and get out of here and go about my business. Every time I tried to record myself, bro, I'm so impatient with the process. Yeah. I wanted to sound how I wanted to sound. It ain't gotta be perfect. It ain't gotta be mastered.
Be like in the booth and not have to worry about like
that's it,
cutting it and like stopping.
I'm paying for convenience. You know what I'm saying? Now I do got homies that got shit at their crib that we do use from time to time, but only because they know how to do it. I just let the professionals be professionals, bro. Sure. Like that's just kind of how I am. But I'm always envious of y'all that record yourself, because they'd be like, yeah, bro, I recorded fucking 30 songs in 2 weeks, and be like, God damn, bro. Like, and I know why.
That is the beauty of it, because you can just wake up in the middle of the night and be like, yo, I got this idea. Let me just try some shit.
I'm always envious of that. Maybe one day, and maybe one day I will, but I figure shit. Now at this point, I done got so deep in the process. You know what I'm saying? I done got to a point now where studios I go to, I don't even got to pay no more. Shout out to everybody I work with. I don't want to say no names.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Now it's at a point where we figured it out how to get in there and get this shit done. But I got a homeboy right now. He'll hit me on a Sunday morning and be like, what you on? He smoking the blunt. I hear the beat in the background playing. He like, here, listen to this shit. Like, bro, I'm finna go. I'll be over there in a second. Like, cause I know you in that zone. You know what I'm saying? And so, but shout out to you for that, man, for handling everything, the DIY shit, and it's still coming off as, major shit. Bro, you know what I'm saying?
Testament to good engineers. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because I've been using the same mic since 2017 when I first
oh, that's crazy.
Got my own spot, and I was like, yo, I need to go get my equipment so I can just record myself. I think it's an AKG P220 if niggas out there want to.
If you want to,
real cheap, it's like $150 or something at that time. Got an interface, and I had my MacBook, and that was really. I used to have a Shield, but then OZ was like, bro, stop using the Shield. Like it was too. He didn't like the sound.
It's changing the sound.
So
Oh, he didn't like the ball either.
Yeah, he hates the ball.
He hates the fucking ball.
LC hates a lot of things.
He's the one person I know that hates the ball, man. That's my guy. Me and OZ did a project, man. Me, OZ, and Tony Ballard. Shout out to Yoda. We had a project called A Society. Probably one of my favorite joints I'd ever worked on. You know what I'm saying? Just because we really locked in to do it. But yeah, man, OZ was one of the first people I ever started recording with when I got here. I actually did a podcast. So I pulled up to his studio when he first opened up, and we filmed a pod in there just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? God got a lot of love for it, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm working with Jawborn now, and you know Jawborn still works with OZ closely. So everything that we doing, he gonna send to OZ at the end. So shout out to my guy, man. But if you can, let the people know where they can find you at, man. Your socials, websites, all that kind of shit.
Man, everywhere Coach Tev. I try to make it as simple as I can. Bro had I used to be Coach Tevo for a while. I don't even know if y'all niggas remember that on Instagram, because there was this random South African teacher that had Coach Tev. He was like a teacher and a soccer coach. And I just DM'd him once. I'm like, bro, I need that Coach Tev handle. Like, what do I got to do? And bro just gave it to me off the love.
Gave it to you? Nice.
But I was Coach Tevo, but no Coach Tevo. Just Coach Tev everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, CoachTev.com, you know what I'm saying, Twitter, all that, man.
Damn, you just inspired me, man. I'm gonna have to reach out to these niggas with the AllOva Media on Instagram.
Yeah, man, you never know. Or they may hit you with some bullshit.
I feel like they are, though. I feel like on the end, they're gonna be like, give me 12,000.
You're like, bro, what?
Give me 12,000 in a kidney.
Like, got 200 followers. Like, why are you doing me like that?
Give me a pair of Supremes, nigga, and a box of chicken. Fuck out of here, man. Keep that shit. But nah, man, shout out to y'all for coming out, man. Shout out to everybody for watching. Again, it's Caution Mr. 700. We are at Thugs Mansion, like what we like to call it. My brother ain't in here. Shout out to my brother A.O. Clark, who normally does this with me, but ain't no telling where that nigga is. He probably somewhere in Fort Worth doing something he ain't supposed to be doing. But man, appreciate Coach Tev coming out. Look for him soon. This shouldn't be the last time y'all hear from Coach Tev on AllOva Media either, man. But y'all be like, yes, sir. Yeah.